So what do you think is going to happen?
Well,
how good or bad is this going to be?
It's supposed to be good. The average increase is for a 4.4% sales increase over the holiday season. That's really pretty strong. I think really the nuance is who gets those gains.
The mix.
I think a lot of the traditional retailers are kind of struggling, trying to figure out, while the Amazons of the world and kind of the recently resurgent Target and Walmart's kind of pick up more share.
What about by the way, what about the fashion world? Because that's your world.
Yeah, well, the fashion world is, I mean, Target and Walmart are a big part. I think Target's third quarter women's sales were up 10%, or apparel sales were up 10% with a lot of in women. So there's fashion is sort of trying to figure out where it's going. I think people are buying a lot more online, getting more comfortable with the whole kind of returns process. But the traditional kind of mall store, department store is still trying to figure out what's the right mix, how do they do it, what's the right kind of experience that's going to bring people across the into the store.
He's talking about big boxes. Another big box. You were telling me I got to go. I'm not going to say what gift I want to buy, but I want to buy a particular gift. And you were saying Best Buy will be the place for me.
For electronics.
Yes.
But what's interesting is going into the Black Friday weekend is we collaborated with StyleStage and discovered that the average promotional discount going into Black Friday really hasn't changed much compared to a year ago or what we've seen earlier this year.
Let me ask. I mean, as Black Friday seems like it is less and less of the big day, because I've been getting offers from retailers since last weekend trying to get me to go out and shop ahead of Black Friday, saying Black Friday comes early. How much of this is a moving target, and it's not going to be Black Friday?
Absolutely. In fact, that's the one thing that has changed. The average promotional discounts via emails. We're getting a significant amount of emails, more going into Black Friday compared to a year ago, and the active promotions of Black Friday. But you are right, Black Friday has been moving much earlier, kind of disintegrating the actual Black Friday day. And this, and what's key is the doorbusters, right? Because it was the doorbusters that used to give the consumer the sense of urgency that if they didn't buy it within those 2-hour frame, they were going to lose the discount. So, and now those discounts are moving earlier and earlier online.
Which makes me feel like we'll see a lot fewer shoppers actually in the stores on Black Friday, because either they're buying online, they're buying in advance, and you just don't have to be there to get the deal.
But consumers are still a creature of habit. And I go every year to the Roosevelt Field Mall, and I will be there, and I will be talking to them. Yes, I do. And believe it or not, some of them still do it because of traditions with their families. And more Generation Z and millennials are showing up for Black Friday. They like to go as a camaraderie.
It's the only day of the year they like going to the malls.
Well, and I think that really speaks to experience. The new Toys R Us store is very experiential, and Black Friday is really one of the big, it's a built-in experience. It's a busy, it's the busiest day at the mall, and that's kind of.
Do you think this toy strategy is going to work?
The toy store, the beta is really interesting. It's something that Macy's has actually invested in and used. I think it's one of these, kind of, is this the future of retail? Is like it's more of an idea of a beta in general is more of the idea of like, here's a box that you come and then brands rent out individual spaces, and there's a lot of churn. It's a way to kind of launch products.
Right.
So I think that's one of the, how does basically.
But do you think that toys generally are going to, it's moved so online, it's unbelievable. Is that something that you think can ever go back into this sort of traditional classic space?
Yes, because for almost 90% of overall retail spending still happens in store. And in fact, when you look at the most popular keywords going into Black Friday, one of them, which is what Evan is saying, is events. People are looking for what are those in-store events, like if I buy one, will I get a gift with a purchase, pretty much.
I think Toys R Us is smart, though, in this new iteration to go a little bit smaller, because nobody with 2 kids until wants to see 40,000 square feet of toys.
Okay, so I have a size.
I was going to really date myself, but they should bring back the wish book, right? Because that was like the biggest deal.
Right.
When I was a kid, Sears would send out that, list of toys, and I'd sit and I'd circle it and then give it to my mom.
And that's something that's kind of missing, I think, in retail overall now, is that in the online age, you can get everything. Right. Everything is available from your phone, and how do consumers make sense of it?
But if you're not going to give your 8-year-old access to the internet,
right? No,
right.
Well, but that's where we're going.
But that's a way to edit. You say like, here's the universe of toys.